What's happening, people? It's the homie Smitster 400, and this is Smitster Reacts. You know what I'm saying? Right here, straight off the Ave. You feel me? And what I'm finna get into today, this one's a little personal. All right. The homie Gepetto Jackson has something to say. He has a message to get out there. His daughter has been taken by CPS, you know what I'm saying, in light of her grandfather, John Walsh, signing off on the shit, despite the fact that he has his other grandchildren living with him on an island. Now, why would this be the case? I'll tell you why, or what I think is the reason. Excuse me. It's his biracial granddaughter. So without further ado, man, we're going to bring this video to the stage. Shout out my man Gepetto Jackson. Long time homie, long time friend. You feel me? We got a lot of work that we've done. I'm a big part of this man's career. You feel me? We go back. Let's get into this, man, because this is crazy. America's Most Wanted, John Walsh takes biracial granddaughter and gives her to CPS. Let's go, man.
Grandchild to DCF.
John Walsh sells his granddaughter to DCF. Once again, I get questions as why didn't you go and get your own daughter? Why didn't you save her from DCF? I did go to court in Indian River County. I made a motion to take my daughter immediately, and I also made a motion for a DNA test. My motions were striked because I found out that Megan was currently married to a guy in India.
Have you ever put your daughter's name on any other properties that you own?
Megan Walsh.
That in itself is crazy. All right. Let's continue, man.
Okay. And one of the things that you're asking for reimbursement is housekeeping, correct?
Was what took to keep the place clean and sanitary for the 3 children living there.
It's a storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
aka Gepetto Jackson. You know, I'm actually just graduated from rehab for alcohol. You know,
Congratulations.
I have over a year sober and clean now, and changing my life around. You know, I have a lot behind my background if you look me up, but nobody's perfect, and we take it day by day to change and become a better person. So easy does it, you know? All right. Well, I actually do music. My name is Andre Vann, Gepetto Jackson. You probably heard of me of being Jermaine Jackson's secret son and close to the Jackson family. You know, a lot of allegations flaring in the air, but I have love. They've done everything. Jermaine is my everything.
Listen. That man, low key, looked just like the homie. That's all I'm gonna say. He looked just like the homie. The homie been around him since like 08. Just to put that into context. But I'm saying, we ain't talk about that right now. Let's get into this, man.
Everything, mentor, you know, whatever you guys want to call it. And I guess I just had a #1 album called Jermaine-ish that was on iTunes last month. It went #1 on iTunes, and it's all because of the supporters. The view now is where John Walsh, he basically left my grandchild in CPS, DCF. He left her there, you know, and people are like, why didn't you go get your own kid? And that's why I'm taking these interviews now, because I actually didn't. I'll start from the beginning. When I was incarcerated from 2017 to 2021, when I got out, you know, that situation came from me doing business contracts wrong. I take partly my wrongs. I'm not going to make any excuses for that. And I had to learn my lesson how to do business right. and go through recovery for the greed of money. And when I got out, that's when I actually met Megan. When I met Megan, his daughter, I didn't know.
And Megan is John Walsh's daughter. So, by the way, everybody, John Walsh from, y'all remember his story back in the day. His son got kidnapped, and then he created the whole show about kidnapped children and kidnapped people. And I think the programmer used to.
Boom, boom, dum, 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 dum. America's Most Wanted. Mr. John Walsh. Who would have known that this man would end up being a racist bigot? But let's continue.
To come on, maybe Friday nights, Saturday nights, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they would have the dramatizations, and they would show the sketches, and it would be, if you've seen such and such, call this number.
Is Most Wanted. I'm John Walsh.
And so you ended up actually meeting his daughter, Megan.
Yeah. And at the time, I was fresh out. I got invited to go to Vero Beach. We met through a mutual friend, and we kind of met each other. She was telling me what she was going through prior with her father, that he took her other children, and I was there for her to help her. In the midst, we started dating, and that's when she got impregnated by me. And from there,
So hold on, let me ask you, how many children does Megan have altogether?
Altogether, she has 4, including mine. Like, she has 4 total.
And does she have custody of any of them?
None now. Absolutely none.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And the accusations were the accusations that she was on drugs, and she was not keeping the house to a certain circumstance, and the kids were told John certain things, which I can't speak for that part because I wasn't around her at the time when the first 3 got taken. At the same time, I wasn't around for that. But when I came around, she was already still going through the court. They would still let her get visitations with the 3 other children. When she had my child, 5 days old, they took baby, what's her name is Esther Grace Walsh, my daughter. They took baby Esther, 5 days old, and took her out of the house and brought her straight into foster care, away from her, because she was fighting the other case.
Because she was fighting the other case. Now, a lot of people, people that's new to the channel don't know, but the people that's been on my channel, they do know. I used to work for DCS as well in Arizona, though, not the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a little bit about how stuff goes down. I've seen some success stories, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen some people absolutely get railroaded. Like, I always tell people, if you can keep your kids out the system, that's the best thing you can do.
Exactly. That's the best thing you can really do, man. And from there, I took it amongst myself. I went to Indian River County to actually go get my kid. I filed a motion to take her immediately, and strike a motion in the court they strike the motion because they said that Megan was currently married to a guy that was in India. And they didn't get a divorce yet. He was.
Listen, that is wild. That's wild.
He was gone for 3 years. He hasn't been back in the United States, and he wouldn't answer her. She filed the paperwork. He wouldn't answer. And when I went to court, they said they couldn't give me a DNA test or let me take Esther, because in Florida, if they're married, the father, the baby goes on the father's birth certificate.
Oh, automatically. So he was illegal. He was a legal father because she was still legally married.
Exactly.
What type of bullcrap is that? Could you imagine having a child with someone, and just because of the fact that they're legally married, and they didn't tell you, they out here doing what they doing, they legally married, they did not tell you this. You have a child, right? So this is your child, right? You should have rights to your child. This man doesn't. Why? Because of that scenario. What type of mess is that? Could you imagine that, bro? Like, as a father, could you imagine that, bro? Let's continue, man.
Exactly. So now you see, she's going to court. She's a loving mother. Like, she loves the children. There's no person I've seen fight harder than Megan, like, for her children. And I'm not saying that because she's my child's mother, but she works so hard, man, and she on every platform for stopping human trafficking. Like, she's a nationalist. Like, she's really, really smart. And like I told her, like, when she went to court to fight for the last one, John actually, I reached out to John and his lawyers, and they were trying to make it see. I let them know that I was in a recovery house. I was getting my life together before I graduated. And if people want to see my graduation footage of my speeches online, you can see me graduating from the recovery
I
house.
saw on your TikTok. Yep, saw on your TikTok. Yep.
Yes. You know, I graduated and gave a nice little speech. And from there, when I got out, the case.
And congratulations to you for that, man. I know. You remember. We was at the 40/40 club. You know what I'm saying? We was at the 40/40 club, and when we first walked into 40/40, you know, because we was on some VIP-ish, bottles popping. Where you go? As soon as you walk into 40/40, straight to the bar. So shout out to you for going from straight to the bar to, you know, sipping water instead of the, you know what I'm saying, the drink. You feel me? Salute to you for that, man. Let's continue.
So now basically they have it where she basically can't get any of the kids back until they're 18, because in her last court case when she went to trial, they terminated all rights to all the kids now. So now Esther's with the state. So now it's me versus the state.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
So what year did you meet Megan?
I met Megan in 2021.
Oh, you met her in 2021. And then what year was Esther born?
Esther was born in 2022.
She was born the very next year. Okay. And so, you know, I don't know the state laws of Florida, although I can go look it up after we get through recording. But I know in Arizona, if a mom has an active case, we didn't automatically take the new baby, but the baby was automatically in the system as well. So normally the protocol is that as long as, like, the mother, well, I have to ask, did the mom use alcohol or drugs while she was pregnant?
No, she didn't at all. They didn't. They said that she would, but she had a medical marijuana card. The judge was telling her that he didn't want her to do that also, but that wasn't be considered a drug because she has cancer on her nose. So if you see, like, her nose, the scars.
I saw that. Yes.
And that's something I always wondered about her. Like, did she get surgery on her nose or what? You know what I'm saying? What was the case with that? You feel me? But if that's the case, I don't see why it wouldn't be listed as medicine, because it is medicine. It's medicine, bro. It's just a little weed. Come on, man. Let's continue.
Yeah, like, she has cancer on her nose, so she takes that for her scar and her medicine. So I don't see that as considered as a drug. So anything else that they apply to the courtroom, I wouldn't be able to see the documents because those documents are private between John Walsh and his daughter. So I was never able to acquire those documents that were exactly what was going on.
Gotcha. And I'm just like, wow, that's very extreme, because I'm like, the typically the protocol is there would be a new case manager assigned, or even the same case manager, but it would just be a new case that's open, and then they would just monitor the mother and the new baby. And if they didn't need to remove the new baby, there would be no need to. Exactly. We've had moms like that where, like, they may have a 6-year-old in care and a 10-year-old in care, and they may not even get them back, but they keep the new baby because nothing's, like, there's no issue.
Exactly.
So it would make me think, because I've seen this behind the scenes, somebody with some money or a lot of pull some strings for them to just, like, terminate all the rights. Like,
and that is Mr. Boom Boom Dum 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 John Walsh. You heard? It's him. He the one, the man who owns the island. That's the one that's doing it. But why?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. You know, and it's like, I see it as, like, my problem with John was this: you take the other kids, you put them on an island. You have an island where this is where you have a.
This man has an island. It's not like there's a need for the child to go elsewhere. If you really feel as though the child is in danger or this, that, and the third, why not take the child? Why send the child off? But again, let's get into it.
It's a huge island. He lives on Vero Beach. You have the island. You have all the rest of her siblings, my daughter's siblings, but you put my daughter in foster care when you have the financial state in mind. It's not like I don't want my daughter. Like, I do want my daughter. And I've showed nothing but great.
And the fact that he wants his daughter, it's like, bro, just give the man his daughter. You don't want him. Why you don't want her? Why send her to foster care? What type of sense does that make? It makes no sense. Imagine that being a parent, yo. This is foul.
Greatness, reaching out, going to courts. This is all facts. They know it. And for you just to leave her there and you say this is the place where I think that fits her the best. Like, that didn't make any sense to me. When you want the rest of them but you're out here fighting for everybody else's cases and children, but you leave my daughter in foster care.
So you believe? So let's just put it out there. Are we putting on record that we believe that John Walsh put baby Esther in foster care because she's half black?
In my eyes, I believe it. Like, because I feel like it's going against the grain. And Megan has told me certain things about her father that.
Let's hear it because people need to know.
Yeah, they were saying that he was writing real racist things in his notebook in his journal in high school. Like, she has, proof of that, all that stuff she was showing me. She has a lot of stuff from him. And she said her father was a racist.
John Walsh has how many kids? 3 or 4?
It's Adam. Rest in peace, Adam. That was the story about Adam before he got the show. Then it's Megan. Then it's Callahan, his other son.
I've seen him, yes.
And then it's Hayden.
And then Hayden at the very end. Okay. So out of all of those, do any of them have kids of mixed race?
No.
Okay. So his rebuttal may be, well, my daughter was married to an Indian man, but her and that Indian man didn't have any children, correct?
No, Jack baby Jack is, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say it correct. I think that's the Indian baby. I think Jack is the Indian baby, but they had to take Jack because it wouldn't have made sense after all. But she has another one too. She has a baby by Kanye West's best friend too. So,
now where's that baby at?
The thing, as well as keep respect for the fathers, no matter how they're
She was getting it going.
involved in this. They are all different fathers, so they all have different takes on this. Unfortunately, my daughter's father is, being used, and he took the bait, and my parents are using him, and
that would be
will
who?
have
MAGA Jackson?
no, my daughter's
Okay.
father, and
Okay.
I'm going to leave the names out for that. I mean, people know the other two. My two of, Esther's father is Maggie Jackson, and Arlo's father is Warren Trotter with Kanye West. But
that's with John on the island with John.
What?
Mm-hmm. I think after that one, he was just like, okay, because at the time, John knew, like, with Kanye and that respect level, it was just a different type of essence then.
I want to speak on MAGA Jackson. Nah, I don't.
When she had the baby Arlo, that's his name, Arlo. Baby Arlo was at the time, and I feel like he took that as like, okay, Megan, it's not like it's one of these people out here, but for the history of me, because he knew that this is how I take it. I feel as if he knew that he had to deal with me one-on-one. Say, for instance, he took Esther, he would have to go to court with me. And if he went to court with me, he didn't want that type of energy of the social media plastering this guy with this guy. When he's trying to get his career back together. So he put it in my hands to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's you versus the state now.
But him trying to get his career back together, why would he send his biracial granddaughter off? That seems like something that would, once it hits the tabloids and becomes a thing, would make you look like a total piece of.
So this is why I'm coming out and speaking, because I have to clear it up, because they're like, okay, well, if you don't fight to get your daughter back, then both of you gonna look like a piece of crap. Like, even though my daughter can't get Esther back till she's 18, unless she doesn't get to the appellate lawyer,
right?
Then basically we're gonna see what you do, Mr. Gepetto, Andre. We're gonna see what you do, and if I don't fight and try to get her or make it huge and known for people to know what's going on, I have no fight. Especially out here in Florida, it's different out here in Florida. It's real hard. It is.
Tell us a little bit about it, because I've never lived. I've lived in Georgia, but I've never lived in Florida.
I mean, first of all, number one, like, it's going to be hard for me to get this DNA test because his hands is still in the pot, they're saying. So when I went before, they struck the motion. Now both of them are off the birth certificate as parents. So now I have to find an actual lawyer that wants to take my case, because every lawyer I call in the state of Florida, they are scared of John Walsh. They don't want to take the case.
That indicates that he has power. So who's the one with the power that did this, that, and the third? There's your answer.
They said it's an issue with taking a case, So they're like, man, we don't want to take this case at all. We don't want to do anything. We don't. Or they're making an excuse like, we got too many cases right now. This is going on. I've called the best of the best out here in Florida, and I get the same answers every single time.
They don't want to go. They don't want to go head to head with him. And and a lot of people watching this may or may not understand. Like, when it comes to courts, like, celebrity means a lot. Money goes a very long way. We may think like, oh, okay, these two attorneys are going at it in court. The judge, they're striking down this and striking down that. Then people go to lunch together. They go to dinner. They play golf together. So a lot of times, you really don't truly have anybody on your side.
Exactly. You don't have any. And then because of my background, like, from everything I've been through, if you Google my name, you'll see scam this, scam that, and incarcerated. I went through a lot of putting myself out there, leaving Hollywood, and the greed of money led me down dark paths, and I had to realize that money wasn't everything. And some of the things that's online is true, but a lot of things I've been, of course, attacked by others because they wanted to either be in a relationship with me or, it just got kind of weird. But that was the tactic. Like, okay, this is online about you. So how could we, every time I went to go do business, I had to explain myself. So when the people first get an insight, when you look up Andre Vann, Gepetto Jackson online, you're like, oh my God, he's a monster. Like, did you see what they said about him? You see, he took this money, he did that. And they don't understand, as a young person, I didn't know. I knew how to get everybody to a room and all the right people to the room, but I just didn't know how to close it. And I was just so infatuated about money. And, it was a disease and an addiction that I couldn't understand it was. Then that's why I went to rehab and I graduated from there, and I understood it. I used the tools to understand. And now that I'm sober and clean, I'm in a state of mind where I'm striving to become righteous. Because actually, as I would say, addicts, we don't ever truly recover. We take it one day at a time,
and I commend him for that. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy task to admit to your wrongs. It's not an easy task to step up to the plate and truly look at yourself, the man in the mirror, and make that change. Pun intended.
You got to stay in focus of taking these programs and utilizing them, like AA meetings and different things, to walk the straight path. And that's why I said I got to do this for my daughter and my kids. And, for showmanship, I won't allow people to continue to use that slander to tell me who I am today.
Yes.
And that's why I'm standing for something righteous today, by fighting for my daughter, making it known, and addressing stories that mean something instead of just trying to go viral on something. And hopefully people will be inspired that are going through the same things that I'm going through in the court system, and we can all step up together and make it nationally known what's going on.
Let me ask you this. I saw a little conspiracy that said that his son wasn't really kidnapped. Adam, is that true?
I don't know about that, man. I talked to Megan about that, and she just like, these people just come. She's been having weirdos come to her and tell her that he's their Adam and this is that. But we didn't have a serious conversation, and I was like, no, Like,
Okay.
I believe that actually happened. But for what, I can't really say or not. Like, I don't know what the reasons for. It's a lot of stuff that she doesn't know as a kid because she was just, Adam died, then she was a baby. She was the next one. So it was just like, what was the reason? What was his hands? And did he owe somebody? Was it, was he part of something? Like, it's a lot of questions that come up,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, as we can see with what's going on with Diddy and
cliffhanger.
Epstein went down and Weinstein, like, you can put your skeletons in a closet, man, but eventually they're going to fall out.
They're going to come out, and people are starting to be aware. Like, he's trying to go and do commercials and fight all these other cases. But the main question is, John, why are you doing that? Like, why are you not even reaching out to me? You should be proud of me. Like, as a person, and be like, even if I had the history, I know you have somebody watching from a distance. I graduated from the recovery house in Central Florida 6 months, and it was a lot of people do not do that. That's a hard task, man. It really, really is hard. And I was like, for you to see that from a distance, we don't have to have a personal relationship, but why wouldn't you want my daughter to know her other family members and the people that are on my side, and us to, to be able to fix these wounds? Because you don't want it, like, especially your daughter. This is your daughter. This is like your daughter. You nurture her. If you know that your daughter has all these issues and problems, why are you basically just pushing her away and not grabbing her close?
Is there anything else that you want us to know before we leave off from this episode here?
Well, I would say this: the episode 2 is going to come, but we got a lot of things to talk about with this. Oh, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna let you.
Okay, you'll save it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because better be a surprise that way. But what we got coming.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
Hey, so there you have it. Mr. America's Most Wanted is allegedly a racist bigot. Sound off in the comments about how you feel about this situation. How would you feel? I have a question for you all. How would you feel if you had a child with someone in a new relationship and didn't know they were married, and just because of the state in which that child was conceived and born, you have no rights whatsoever to your child? What would you do? How would you feel? This has been Smitster Reacts. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Over 50% of the people who watch our content are not subscribed. And while we appreciate the views, we really, really do, we would like if you would subscribe. So please, like, share, comment, subscribe. This has been your boy, the homie, Smitster 400. You know what I'm saying? And we signing off. Peace.